Welcome guys, in this video we're going to talk about lists that operate on strings and we'll take a look at some basic properties. And of course these are generic ones, so they're very flexible. Okay, using system here, like this, and then using system.collections.generic. There you go. Let's make a namespace, so namespace sample, open close braces, class program. Alright, and then of course static void main. There we are. Okay, so our basic template is in place. Now, remember, one of the big things about generics is that they allow a lot of reusability because they can operate on different kinds of data types. That's their power. Okay, so list here, and now you see it says represents a strongly typed list of objects that can be accessed by index, provides a method to search, sort, and manipulate the lists. Okay, so in our case we're going to do a string here like this, and then my items will be the name of it, and this will be equal to a new list of strings and then 5 like this. Okay, so close out with a semicolon. Alright, at the next stage what we're going to do is fill it a little bit. So you're going to say for int I equals 0, I less than 2, and then I plus plus, and now let's fill this a little bit. So you're going to say my items that add, and then you're going to say I and close out with a semicolon. Remember, this will really convert I to its, it should convert it to its string representation. Okay, but if that doesn't happen, you see it's underlined red. So here what we have to do, of course, is just say to string, and that should fix it. Okay, so convert I to string and store it in the list of strings called my items. And notice that this is going to go from 0 until I is less than 2. Okay, so 0 and 1. Alright. Now notice that here also I put a 5, and that 5 must represent the capacity of the list. Alright, so let's take a look at it with a for each loop. So for each, and then each string s and my items like this. We're going to access it, so you'll write here console right line and the value stored is, and then you're going to say 0 for the placeholder, and then comma, and then s, and close up the semicolon. So this will display the value stored inside the my items list. There you go. Now let's get some other diagnostic information about the list so we can see how to do that. So in our case, for example, we can type stuff like this. Console.writeLine, and let's do it this way here, length equals, and then a placeholder, comma, and then my items.capacity. You see that? There you go. So that's one property that we can check, capacity. And let's do one more, console.writeLine and actual number stored, and placeholder, and then here put my items.count, close out with a semicolon, and then console.read key, and close out with a semicolon. Here we are. Alright, so let me put actual here and equals like that, so it's consistent with the syntax above. Let's delete this reference code. Okay, here we are. So let's give it a build. Build succeeded. Let's give it one go with start. And it tells you the value stored is 0, the value stored is 1, length is 5, actual number stored is 2. When you run this code with debug and step into, it does show some nice information. So first of all, my item, as you can see, is null. It's got some static members. See, there's a default capacity. There you go. So now the count, as you can see, at first is 0. Okay, the capacity is set to 5, the count is 0. And of course now you will fill it one by one, and the count, as you can see, grows. up to 2, and then the for each will go to the entries. There you go. And then the stuff is displayed to the screen, and there's the code. Let's unload this. So remember, the great benefit of this approach is this list here can operate on strings better than many other data types, so it's very flexible, provides a lot of built-in functionality. However you mouse over it, go on MSDN and research it a little more. You'll see this is really a generic, so a cool thing. Okay, and that is it. So thanks very much, and I'll see you in another video where we explore this with a user-defined type. So we make our own class and then operate on it.